between Josh Kane and Ryan Pisani. Ryan Pisani is currently 7-3 up. So that is your last 16 lineup, and this is our last 16 match, and we are underway. Eddie Barker has the first opportunity.
Well, this is a match from back in my era. Will Harrison, Eddie Barker. Had many a battle in the day with these pair.
Smooth start so far for Eddie. Wants to put this one away, set the tone for this match.
Yeah, the red's aren't a problem. Black's not much of a problem. He just needs to select his path correctly. Get on this into the middle bag now for this black.
A little further than he wanted, but no problems. Very smooth start from Batman. Very, very nice. It should set them into the match nicely, Tony.
Yep. Yeah, Eddie looking very comfortable out there.
We ran through the pro lineup and where we are, what you can watch. Let's tell you what you can also watch in the women's game. You will see, if you go across to the women's table, which is table 2, you will see all 4 quarterfinals, 2 semis before the final here on the main table tonight. Kirsty Davies is currently 3-0 up, our number 1 player. Fell at the first hurdle in event number 1. She is 3-0 up over Lindsay Schultz. Mary Talbot and Megan Proctor will follow. Marion Jude will take on Casey Ramford-Norrie. Barbara Taylor, who made the final yesterday, will take on Dawn Wright. And that is the storyline of the women's event so far. Amy Beecham, our number 2 player, knocked out Colette Hendrickson in the first round, who won yesterday and then lost immediately to Dawn Wright. A huge, huge victory for Dawn Wright.
Yeah, we popped over and had a little glimpse of Kirsty Lee earlier playing Lindsay Schultz, and watched her pot an incredible large yellow to get on the black, and that put her 2-0 up very long ago. But yeah, that's a big story, that, with Amy.
Yeah, you just sensed, I mean, it's the draw is stacked. She was in a tough section of the draw, having, you know, Colette Hendrickson, obviously take nothing away from Dawn Wright. I think everybody was expecting Amy to win that one, to play Barbara Taylor, to perhaps then play Marion Jude. To, it was going to be, but just a tough one. She had to play her last 32 match this morning because Colette Hendrickson was in the final last night. Their match got held over, which meant she had to go back to back. Which is obviously, that may have played a part. It was a grueling match with Colette. It lasted a long time, ended up being a deciding frame victory for champs. But disappointing weekend for our number 2 player, but she'll be back. No doubt about that.
Barbara Taylor going deep again.
Return to form for the 2 times world champ.
It's quite funny because at the start of the week, Barbara said, put me down for the women's finals for commentary, etc., etc. So the first one, she's in the finals, she couldn't do it, and, well, still batting away.
She said this, this morning she said, I'll be there for the final tonight. And I was like, okay, you might still be in it.
You might be playing and not commentating.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Absolutely. While we're talking about all that, Eddie is in on a reverse clearance here off the dry break from Phil Harrison. Which ball would you play on here? If he's straight enough, I quite like pulling back for the one top left.
I like to get rid of that yellow that's got the 2 reds near it first.
But if he got straight in top left on the one you can just see left of screen there.
Yeah.
See, if
I'm not keen on that.
Yeah, he's gone further than I was thinking. But if you get just short of the cushion and you're straight, it's then the natural connections are there. And now he's going away from his work. Should be okay. The natural line should work here.
Do you just roll this in and just play the black from
I think if you top this through, you're going to miss the reds on the bottom cushion, and you're going to hit bottom cushion, side cushion, and just track. So as long as that is the case, and he'll know that, then I would go on and off the bottom cushion. But if it's a risk, drop it in.
Might punch it. That's a good shot.
He's slightly overdone it, but
Still should be fine.
yeah, it's better than dropping it in, just about.
Looking at the path of the cue ball, I think that red's in the way to stop the cue ball going in the centre.
In it goes. Eddie Barker. Break clearance, reverse clearance. Nice start to
Dream start for Eddie.
Absolutely. Phil Harrison, who will be the fancy player in this match, is not yet to play a shot in anger other than the break as we come back in. Kersley Davies has won a frame since we were last here. Lindsay Schultz, though, at the table. She needs to get something going quickly. Race to 7 in the Women's Pro Series, and danger of having this one rattle away from her. This is all over on table 2. If you'd like to watch this match, you can. And you can watch all the women's action all day long. She's got herself in trouble here.
Yeah, made the pot. Just had a bad bump into that yellow.
Eddie Barker comes forward to see if he can keep this dream start going. And he's going to get the opportunity. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that's really good. Look at, just catch the glimpse of Phil's reaction here. You're not going to see it on the replay, but he's just hung his head because this is the best layout I've seen all weekend long.
There was one in the Melling Cooney match where Chris broke, and he even turned around and nearly apologised to Dom. But they were. I actually said to JMO, I said, I think that's the easiest finish I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever in my life after a break. It was literally 4 balls in the middle of the table in the black. You just taps,
Yeah.
absolute tap-ins. These are slightly more difficult, but they're ridiculously easy. You know, just because of the red that's near the 8 ball there, it's a bit.
You can get a little funny on that one, can't you? Where you bring in the bottom cushion, the yellow into play, and you know it's likely to be his last ball.
Well, you were right, Simon. He's going to be leaving this red till his last ball.
Yeah, and it's just one of those that can go wrong. I'd like to have been a little closer to it, but just has to judge it.
Can he just dribble past it off the bottom rail? I don't know. I think it could be a bit tricky. That's nice. I just wondered he might scrape into it and it could come off the bottom rail and end up snooking himself.
Yeah, I thought he might overrun it.
Yeah.
He had quite a thin angle on it.
Oh, this black for 3-0. Batman has flown out of his bat cave and well on the way to sorting out Gotham City.
Yeah, this is nearly 10 minutes of perfect pool for Eddie Barker. 3 visits to the table, 3 frames on the board, and his opponent has played 1 shot, and it was a dry break. Tell you what, the match between Rob Warne and Sean Chipperfield, 2 of the fastest players in the game, is rattling along. 5-4 already. Incredibly quick game going on there.
Never going to be anything else though between them 2, was it?
Back there you can see, top of your screen, top right, that's Rob Warne just racking the balls up, getting ready to go. And I can tell you that Ryan Pisani has won his match against Josh Kane 8-3. So Ryan Pisani has booked his place into the last 16, and a tough match against our number 2 player, Declan Brennan.
Harrison breaking off frame 4. Lost the opening 3 frames to Eddie Barker. Cut break. Cut break, dry break. Hand on hip. Bit of teapot. Slumps back in his chair and gets ready to watch the next instalment of Eddie Barker playing pool.
It's just tough, isn't it? What do you do in this situation for Phil? You just got to sit and wait. I mean, look how frustrated he looks. Or it's just, I want to play pool.
Yeah. Not quite as easy as the last table that Eddie was presented with. I'm taking on a tricky pot here first. I think Phil better get himself ready.
No.
Well.
Oh, dear me. Not sure what to say about that one, Tony.
Generous.
He played it at pocket weight.
Pocket weight.
Oh, dear.
I like that. Pocket weight.
That's not going to make Phil feel any better watching that. But he is going to get to the table, though.
Harrison had nothing there but to play the loss of turn, leaving nothing easy for Eddie Barker. Barker attempting a thin cut into the middle, never ever looked in. And what can Harrison conjure up from this position?
He needs something to get going in the match, doesn't he? Do you think the red on the left-hand side is a problem? Do you think you can get to that potting angle? Possibly. I mean, you've got to get somehow to that side of the red as well, or the red further down the table.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at that because obviously the two reds as well at the bottom. I don't know what his plan is.
I think he's playing red off yellow,
Yeah.
but the higher yellow of the two near the bottom left-hand corner pocket.
But then he's got to play it in a way that he doesn't bring that other, the yellowy contacts comes off the rail and away because it could block off.
But that he might be thinking about it moving that red, play it firm enough to actually open it up.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
So if the red goes top right, he's perfect here because he can just drop behind it. If it comes down the table, there's also no problem. If he has to play into it, he's got just about enough angle to force it, I think.
And that tells you what he has in mind. He'd have rather not been cushed up.
Nobody likes to be cushed up, Tony. I wish you could all see the face my co-commentator has just given me for that one. This has been excellent. 3-0 down. This clearance is high tariff, and he has picked it apart.
Ballsy.
Yeah.
Very ballsy. Tells you the strength of mind that Phil Harrison has and possesses.
And Phil was going to walk away from the arena. Gives us an opportunity just a bit of a tour around. And here is Sean Chipperfield. This 8-ball to go 7-5 in front. Quite incredible how quick this match has been. I know they are two of the quickest players.
Oof.
But, oh dear. That could tie the scores up in a hurry here.
Yeah, the whacker wasn't expecting that. He was just, I saw him, he actually went back into his seat and think, okay, right, and then what he did, it was...
Run to the table with
excitement. He sort
excitement.
of bounced back out of his chair again.
They are two of the quickest players, but they are also, Whacker in particular is one of the most aggressive players you will ever see. And he ends up in these big box office break dish matches where both players are going at it. It wouldn't surprise me the way that Rob plays if he tried to leave yellow top right with angle to slide across the table to take the yellow on the left-hand side down the table. He just backs that potting ability that he has. No, we're never going to find out, which is a disappointment.
The other day, we were in the main comms box and we cut across during the referee racking the balls for it was Hill, Phil Parkin and Rob Wall, and his last yellow was length to the table on the right-hand cushion.
Yeah, I was commentating on it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, you were. And it's a ridiculous shot at 7 each. And he could have played a dribble into the middle, which would have, if he missed it, would have been half safe.
Yeah.
But taking on the big part,
Yeah,
I mean.
It's very, very good. And this is a scoreline here. Jaden Billingham, 4-1 up on last night's champion and our number 1 player, Tom Cousins. 4-2, though, with that 8 ball. And 5-0 currently for Kersley Davies, the ladies' number 1. And she has this layout for 6-0. So looking good to get herself into the semi-finals. Disappointing first round exit in event 1 for Kirsty Lee. Looking to make amends here in the second event of the weekend. Back to ours. So Phil Harrison still away from the arena. So we're staying with Chippy and Wacker. And, oh, he's got the full teapot out. You know what that means.
I do love that.
Our director on one of our shows, he put together a montage. I actually think it was the Players' Championship a couple of years ago, where it was 6 players for the weekend, and Sean and Wacker were drawn in the same group. They ended up playing each other for over 50 frames throughout the weekend, and it ended up being a very close battle that Chippy won in the end, knocking out Wacker. But our director for the final montaged up every single teapot that Wacker had throughout the weekend, because I think he played something like 9 matches, and it was a lot of fun, which Wacker took in very much in the spirit it was meant.
Jimmy Croxton has to.
He's very big on the teapot.
Yeah, very big on the teapot.
Jimmy's is good, but Wacker's got the best teapot in the game.
Yeah. For me, the teapot never gets old. Anyway, Eddie Barker, is he going to try and slide this red? Just skim the yellow. That's where you got the red and yellow stuck together. Just skim off the side of it. Try and bring it out.
Something like that.
Played it nicely.
Yeah, that changes things. That should be enough now for the run out. Got plenty of margin on the next 2 shots.
Not what Eddie plays. Everything's sort of very carefully placed.
Mentioned it on commentary before. I'd like to see Eddie find a little bit more of an upbeat rhythm. Not because this isn't a good rhythm to play with, more because we're in a match and shot clock era, and that extra little bit of just, he's a touch on the methodical side, which just over a course of a 50-minute match will eat into the match more. And the players that we've seen kind of develop their pace have had more success off the back of it. There's less jarring change between the 30 and 15 second a shot as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a bit of angle here. Pots this into the middle bag. Brings the cue ball back to the top rail. And that should leave him a nice easy black into the corner. And this to restore his 3-frame cushion.
Yeah, previous frame was just a blip for Eddie. Back to 3 in front. And this is the situation in the frame that we left. Not a great layout for really for either player to go at. Over on YouTube, we will see Ryan Pisani and Declan Brennan play their last 16 match after this one. Oh, not happy. That's rolled off. I think that's a foul.
Yep.
Well, he indicated it rolled off. I'm not saying it did.
No. I was just agreeing with you that it is a foul.
Yes. So a chance for Sean Chipperfield, a tricky one, to wrap that match up. The winner of that match will play the winner of Tom Cousins and Jaden Billingham. Good layout this for the farmer.
So a little check to see if that black ball passes the yellow into the corner, which I believe it does.
You updated over on YouTube. It's still going in that frame. Sean wasn't able to take them out. They were not laid out nicely, so not surprised to see that tactical battle continue. Still not happy. Looks okay. Must be relatively tight because he's looked at it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it is. In it goes. And gets one back. Very efficient frame of pull, that one for Phil Harrison, as we come back to our match on YouTube. And Wacker is deep in trouble here. 7-5 down. And, well, he's in a world of hurt. That could be that in this match.
You'd like to think so there, Sean Chipperfield. He's got a bit of an angle on this yellow over the bag so he can bump the cube off the rail and come back.
Yeah. Plays on the trickiest ball, and now this drops in as it has. It's routine, isn't it?
Yep.
Looks like Sean Chipperfield will be the first man into the quarterfinals.
Harrison trying to make it 2 in a row now.
Sort of ticking towards the halfway point in the match, and only one frame has not been a clearance from the break, and that's kind of what we're talking about when it comes to pace of play. Both of them are using their 30, and there's absolutely in their rights to do that, but we're going to have, you know, by the time this fight, 7 frames, 6 some clearances off the break, and we'll have used 25 minutes. You know, that means that the match clock is very much in play at the back end of it.
Yeah, it is, right. Yep.
Just update you that Sean Chipperfield did complete victory over Rob Warnsley's first man into the quarterfinals. He'll take on the winner of Tom Cousins and Jaden Billingham. Currently 5-3 to the youngster. Our number 1 player, Tom Cousins, in a little bit of bother, but not too much yet. A long way to go.
Yeah, what the pace does bring into play with a match like this is the 6 red shootout, because when you get there's not a lot to separate the 2 players, and like you said, Simon, you get right to the end of the 50 minutes, and
yeah, the players that naturally have just allow their pace to pick up and play in that much more, when they're there, you take them. If you need 30 seconds, use them, but they've had more success at sort of staying out of those sort of, you know, the matches are going along a lot quicker, and we're pretty much seeing that across the board. Most players are now doing that. I look at someone like Christophe Lambert, who would have been on the slower side of the players. He's now up there as one of the quicker players on the tour because of it.
And we know as well, Simon, that Phil Harrison hates the 15 seconds.
Exactly, and he'll
with
be
a passion.
And he'll be in it more because of the pace he plays at.
Exactly.
Naturally.
Yeah, I always think to myself, you know, if you want to avoid it, play quicker in the start of the match.
Yeah, there's a difference between playing at 15 seconds a shot when you have 30 and than playing at 15 seconds a shot when you have 15. And if you can get that natural rhythm up, it will only benefit you. See Tom Cousins, a couple behind then. Also, you might just seen there on the right-hand side, Mary Talbot. That means that Kersley Davies did complete victory, and she is the first lady into the semi-finals. Mary Talbot about to get underway, or has just got underway, against Megan Proctor. The winner of that one will play Kersley Davies, who did beat Lindsay Schultz 7-0. Phil going for his control break rather than his power break, and he'll be happy with it. This looks like a very nice layout for him.
Yeah, yellows look reasonably pleasant. It's okay, he's sandwiched himself between those 2 reds, but you can see that yellow into the middle. So that's absolutely fine for Phil. Just having a look there, and I don't think he'll want to leave that length of the table plant down into the left-hand corner. I think he'll go over and get rid of the one over the bag next. And Phil doesn't mind potting balls down rails, so I think he'll probably just leave that there that's next to the black, so it does give you a very easy position onto that, the end of the frame. Nice control again. So he's in a decent spot there. This body might get a Phil head shake.
Yeah, he was playing for perfection, crossing a line, and that wasn't, that isn't easy to do. That's why he does shake his head every now and then. But he's so good at just making those little adjustments and making it work. I don't think he was perfect for going the way he's about to go, but I don't think that was his plan.
No.
When he went up the table.
Clean as a whistle into that corner. This is pretty straight. Nothing to do with the cue ball. And Harrison is going to pull up alongside Eddie Barker at 4 each.
Yeah. A good turnaround for Phil Harrison, no doubt. Good quality match as well. Yeah, very, very good for Phil Harrison. Jaden Billingham at the table. Tom did not make the out, so this is the opportunity for the young man to go 3 clear. Just finished a little awkward on this one, but you still fancy him to take these out. That's over on table 3, if you'd like to keep an eye on that match. Jaden on a very good track against Tom Cousins.
Yeah.
Second half of the match then underway here with Eddie Barker, both on the match clock and the scoreboard. Both players need 4.
Better break from Barker this time.
Great win for Eddie in the previous round, knocking out Stevie Dempsey, who's had a very disappointing weekend after a good run of form, where he had a Pro Series title, semi-finals in the Pro Series, followed by a semi-final at the Players' Championships. First round and second round loss for Stevie Dempsey this weekend. The Irishman will be back.
Well, he can get through to that red down the rail. I think I'd play it now. Run it in, bound to be on the red that's next to you, and have the angle that you require to get up the table, and be away from the cushion.
Nicely dropped in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Pop this up now. Just want to leave yourself straight in the red in the centre. And tap ins from there. And that's it. Bang on. Just wants that last red with a very, very tiny angle. So you can just run the cube up onto the top rail. That's about right as well. So it's black for Eddie Barker just to edge ahead once again.
Eddie back in front, as you say, Tony, and very exciting end to the match, you feel, as we just go back across to our YouTube table. Ryan Pisani and Declan Brennan underway in the last 16.
Close match as well at the moment.
It's very close. You can't separate them.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, dead weight. You always feel uncomfortable playing those shots on pool tables. I know we're playing in, you know, the really high quality tables here with the rest on Apollos.
Refused them all day.
They make you nervous. Those sort of shots do.
That's what I said when I played back in the day. And I remember one occasion we played and the table was drifting away. It wasn't on the telly. And my opponent said, "So you happy with the table?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine with it." He said, "But I've just had a ball roll off." I said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "But why are you happy with it?" I said, "Because I don't hit anything less than 100 miles an hour, so there's nothing. None of my balls are rolling off."
Yeah, that's true. You could just see there as well, Jaden Billingham did win that ninth frame to go 6-3 up over Tom Cousins, who went in off on the break in frame 10. So what's an opportunity for the young man to get himself onto the hill in that one. A reminder that the winner of that match will play Sean Chipperfield as our next match here on the main table. Chippy already safely through to the quarterfinals.
A couple of bouncing cue balls today from Phil Harrison's break. So Harrison doing all the donkey work to get back to 4 each. Now slid 5-4 down and a dry break. Ned will be thinking, can I just pull away once again? Getting ever closer to the finish line. Always going to be a tight match for me with these two. Phil, yes, you make Phil the favourite, obviously because of everything he's achieved in the game. And just also the way he has nerves of steel. Whatever. But Eddie is a wily old character as well.
Well, that's the commentator's curse, Tony.
Well, well, well. Would you believe that?
He's played so well in the match. To make a mistake like that is very jarring.
Yeah. Always looked, was amazed, well I say not amazed, but fascinated by Phil's bridge hand, when I used to play him, because he doesn't put his thumb right up across there. It's very low on his first
Some
finger.
players just really struggle to do that, don't they? And he's made that work for him. So it allows you to have the cue nice and kind of a much leveler playing field when you're playing kind of screw shots.
Oh yeah.
Tricky this for Phil.
Indeed.
Really tricky. Just landed a touch too straight on that previous shot. Couldn't get up the table like he wanted to. Oh, lovely shot. That is really, really nice. He's still got plenty of work, but nice control. Big danger of running too far down the table there.
Just love these Russ and Apollos. I'm going to talk about the table for a couple of seconds. Just they haven't got that strip along between the cushion and the back of the pockets with no the rubbers that were there. So I used to play a lot from the back of the pocket with the rubbers. So I was nearly going in off every shot. So I played a lot of shots from in the jaws of bags. But
we've been using them for a while now, and it's almost forgotten that they used to have that metal and plastic. And
we see them in the pubs. If you go in the pub leagues and it's sort of it's scraping your cue along it all the time. Neil, I'm going to say again, I think I said it before. See, Neil Raybone said that metal strip, he had to have his cue repaired. Yeah. Because when he was breaking, he was sawing across it.
See, I never had that problem because if you lose the first round, you don't play as many frames.
Yeah, I had that problem. People usually say to me, "How come you've had the same tip on for 4 years?"
It didn't practice.
Go figure. Lovely shot there.
It's beautiful.
a little hop from Filton.
Just wanted that little bounce off the cushions while he was hopping, because he doesn't want to just drop this yellow in. He just wanted to just pop it back just enough to be comfy on the 8 ball here.
Yeah, cushed up. He'd have had to play forwards and play the think up with the black, but
you and you're cushed up today.
Don't like it. Just don't like it, Simon. I'm sorry.
And it's better than it's ever been without the metal strip on the cushion.
I'm not playing now, though, am I?
No, that's true. As Phil gets the victory and ties us back up again.
There's all the action down in the arena. So we scan our eyes across. So referee racking the balls up in our featured match there. Just to the right of that, you can see the back of Declan Brennan sat in his chair. Ryan Pisani at the table. Declan just stood up to a little gander. And you've got all the challenger tiers that are going on in the middle there. We've also got the women's challenger, next gen, disability, the seniors, 3-man team events. It's just a complete array of fantastic pool events. Anyway, Eddie Barker to break off frame 11. I didn't hit them all that well, but he's made a red off the break. Well, it's toing and throwing this match. Levels again. Eddie Barker out the table. Reds are all there. Just over 15 minutes left in the match as well. So interesting. The pool has been pretty much, I'd say, of the highest order. They've been very, very solid, both these players indeed.
It's been really high quality. It's just because both players use the 30, it doesn't, you know, it just is dragged on a little bit on the clock. Sometimes when great players run around the table and play like this, you rave about them for weeks, but this has just been beautiful, methodical, picking the games apart, good patterns. It's been a brilliant level of pool. Oh, that was very, very edgy.
That. That was a howler from Eddie Barker. We were just saying that it's been at the highest quality. Well, that's been the worst shot of the match by some distance.
I was thinking as he was getting down on the shot that because obviously talking about pace of play quite a bit in the match, and he seemed to take even an extra second or two for him, and then he got on the shot and he took longer feathering it as well.
Yeah, it's when he stood there, he looked at it, he sort of took a deep breath and then got down, but yeah.
That's a huge moment. I'm not sure what's happened here. Something has happened and both players need to leave the table.
Hello?
Okay, we are ready to go. The clock is currently showing 10. Yeah, there we go. It's back to 14:45. And we're up and running. What's the score, Tony? I can't remember now. It's been so long.
0-0.
0-0. So, and Eddie Barker is. Oh yes, Eddie. I now remember. Eddie missed that really bad ball to top right-hand corner when we were last with this match, and it was a routine shot.
And Phil put him down there.
Phil's put him down. Oh,
no.
Eddie! What a response! Brilliant.
It's almost like he was waiting 15 minutes to play that shot.
I mean, Phil's going to be sitting there going, "Well, he did have. Yeah, he had 15 minutes to think about that one." What could he have done on a 30-second shot clock?
Oh.
All jokes aside, that was a brilliant shot from Eddie, but he needs another one here. No. So the good shot is gone to waste for Batman. I think the problem was he had 15 minutes to think about the previous shot, and he only had 30 to think about that one, Tony. He needed a bit more.
Absolutely.
Jokes aside, though, this frame is huge. He should be in front, and he's big second favourite now, and it will be Phil to break next.
Well. Can you believe? Can you believe that shot? That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, yellow first to me. Doesn't matter now with the cue ball going in. Ball in hand now for Phil Harrison. It looks like an easy mop up. This will be Phil going into a 6-5 lead. And Eddie, if he loses this match, will be pointing the finger firmly at this frame. The red that he missed into the top right hand corner with everything at his mercy. Ball started to play fast now just before it gets to 15 seconds a shot, which is coming around the corner.
Mark this frame down. Frame 11 could be a defining moment in this match, as Phil Harrison takes the lead for the first time.
There's Mary Talbot in her match against Megan Proctor. You see Megan is 2-1 up. Mary plays out of Spots and Stripes in Red Hill, where we were a couple of weeks ago for the Players' Championship.
We'll be there again in a couple of weeks for
The last man standing.
Yeah, that should be good fun.
Now we're trying to figure out the plan here. Of course, she is the current British Open champion. You hear the bell. 15 seconds a shot now after this one, which Phil Harrison just loves. Not. But this is a big chance. So he uses extension, so he's going to get hurried along here. Yep, just realised.
It's that change. It's so jarring.
Yeah.
And for the players that play slower, it's even more jarring.
Well, he's whacked that in there. We didn't really have time to look at it, and he's come out lovely. Well, that's perfect. He hasn't really got to do anything now, just 3 straight pots, and he's going to get on the hill, is Harrison. Barker, all he's been left to do is to sit and think about that red. Arms folded.
It was such a bad mistake for a player that was playing at such a good level.
Absolutely.
It's a really, really bizarre one.
Yeah.
It wasn't even pressure filled. It wasn't. I know there is pressure, but it was just a routine straight pot to the corner that he seemed to take a while on.
Yep, I can't explain it. Normally I'd have a go.
Yeah.
It baffles me, that one. But anyway, regardless, Phil Harrison is on the hill. Barker now requires all 3 frames that remain. Or at least if he could get 2 and get the match down to a 6-red shootout, which I think is unlikely. So Barker, with the break off frame 13 out of a possible 15, has to get a ball. You can see we've got just over 8 minutes left of the match clock. Oh, it's a great break. What a break that is. 3 balls, 2 reds and a yellow. Barker as well uses his extension at the start of the frame. Nut only leaves 1 shot here. Stay red off the yellow in the middle. He's made it. Ooh, that yellow was creeping up the table. I thought he was going to knock the black in for a second, but he just caught the other yellow first. Some big shots required here from Eddie. That's one of them. Now then, straight screw back to the side cushion. would imagine. Try and play this red down the rail. Is that heavy? No. I don't think that black's particularly easy.
It will be delicate. Oh, we're not going to find out. That's another poor miss from Eddie. Really gone off the boil.
Yeah. Yeah, the horse has unseated its rider, that's for sure.
Not an easy counter here for Phil Harrison, but one he'll be happy to take on for the match. There may be hope here. Well, he probably can just dink the one he's nearest to into the centre. I say there may be hope. I mean hope for Eddie Barker. He's clinging on to a hope.
Thank you very much there. Leaves himself a little bit of angle here, so he can just get the cue ball off the rail. I'd like a little bit more angle than that, to be fair, because I want to be plotting the one in the middle and be able to screw back to play the black up into the top right. I can punch this in, but seen a couple miss, but not that one. 2 balls away then, Harrison. Make that 1.
The response to the way this match started, didn't play his first shot in anger until he was 3-0 down. The clearance he took out in frame 4 was super high tariff. He made it look easy and he dominated the match thereafter. The farmer, Phil Harrison, is through to the quarterfinals. And Tom Cooney has just celebrated with Phil on the big screen for everybody in the venue to see. I hope, apologies for anyone that saw that at home. As we will move on, we're going to go on to the quarterfinals ourselves. We thought we might be seeing the #1 player, Tom Cousins, taking on Sean Chipperfield. That's not the case. Jaden Billingham has knocked him out, and it will be young Jaden taking on Sean Chipperfield in the quarterfinals.